Banty's talking about how this community that started inauspiciously in 1968 in a basement, very trendy basement in London, has grown to be a worldwide movement, of which you're going to remember. So this Tree Ratna Buddhist community that you're joining is a community, as I said, founded by Arjun Sankarashna in 1968 in the basement of a London shop. We're a worldwide community in about 27 countries, all over the globe, with over 2,000 ordained members and many, many thousands of mitras like yourselves. So when you become a mitra in Glasgow, you are simultaneously, as if by magic, a mitra in Mumbai, in New Zealand, in Melbourne, in Moscow, in Krakow. You're a member of the community, a worldwide community. And you get a piece at any door. Mind and tell when you're coming first. So the Tree Ratna Buddhist order, and in its previous incarnation as the Western Buddhist order, has been teaching the Dharma in Glasgow since 1973 and has been based in this building since 1983. And you're also at the especially over this more than 36 years, and care for the Joyce, and we might do something different to represent our growing aspirations as a Sangha, to be more connected to the community and to be more accessible to people, no matter what their physical capacities are. this. In the hill, a real part of that. You'll be this community of Glasgow. The journey that began sitting where you're sitting, looking at this shrine, making these up things. So, good for you. So in order for people, wherever they're watching, at home, who are not part of the Sangha, maybe, and for those who are part of the Sangha and not sure what a Mitra is, Abhay Bhattacharya is going to let us know the starting block of what a Mitra is. What is it that you're committing to, just in case you want to change your mind?
So there are three main things that you're signing up for, as it were. One is that you're seeing yourself as a Buddhist. So you actually, doesn't mean you have to proclaim to everyone you're a Buddhist, but this is that you're taking that on as that. This is part of who I am. And you're also, you're actually, you're joining and that, there's a specific preference. He emphasized the going for refuge, that actually is an aspect of who you work. There's also the fact that we're an ecumenical very narrow, and also it's a uniform, so there isn't a distinction between men and women, which was when he set up the women, that was quite unique. That was the case, and also that there's an emphasis on community and on kind of right livelihood, how we work and how we bring that, how our work and our lives into that, all part of that. It's not like we have our work life and then we have our business life. It's about integration of the whole thing. So that's the Triratna movement that you're joining, and as Kudadari said, you're joining that throughout the world. I remember the first time I went to Dublin after I was in Mitra, I went to visit the centre there, and it was like, there was something like, oh right, so you mentioned there's an understanding that you've gone through this process yourself, you've taken this on. And then the last one is that we're trying to follow the precepts. So the precepts are guidelines, spiritual guidelines, training principles, and that we're trying to keep to. And we will make mistakes and we will fall apart, and then we get back again and try again. So Bhante specifically put they're kind of well known as in a negative formation of refraining from, but also you can give a positive formation. So first one is with deeds of loving kindness. So in a way, the first one feeds all the others. Like it's coming from a place of love, coming from a place of kindness. And again, it's deeds, so there's an action associated with that. With generosity. Come to generosity, so it's not just generosity, but actually it's not with intention of getting something back. It's just we're openly generous, we're openly giving, connecting to people. With simplicity and contentment. And I think that's, I think it's been interesting with COVID. I think there's been a moment where, we have to fall back on our resources and actually be content with what we have. There's a lot of our lives have changed. We're not able to do some of those things we might have done in the past. So there's an element of actually just being present with what we have and content with that. And I think that's a practice in itself. And then with truthful communication. So just how we communicate. I mean, it's interesting because obviously a lot of our communication at the moment is online. But yeah, there's truthful communication, but actually we can think of also communication in terms of is it helpful, is it kindly, and is it true to yeah, truthful communication. And then finally, with mindfulness, clear and radiant. And in a way, mindfulness can pervade everything we do. If we can be mindful, then there's a sense of awareness that we're aware that we're making choices the whole time. And actually, we can choose if it's going to be skillful or is it not going to be skillful. It's not going to be skillful. So the way that can view all our practices, we can bring our actions from a place of love, from a place of kindness, and from a place of awareness. So that's what you're being to try and take on. And as I say, we'll make mistakes, and that's okay. It's not rules, but they can be guidelines to help us to practice.
Thank you. So we're still in? Okay. Good. Glad we can continue then. So as what we like to do is introduce the new Mitras, because you've not had a chance to meet the entire community, just because evidently you wouldn't be able to attend it. So we're going to rejoice in you a little bit, introduce you to the wider community. So so I understand, is it you that's rejoicing in Matteo, or is it Jerome? Jerome. I had you down, Jerome, but I wasn't sure. Thank you.
Further because something else on, get the ice on because I can't see. So. Not for that. Right. I was really quite excited when I had asked me to do this, because I remember my ceremony. It was just the most emotional thing I've ever been through. It was fantastic. But I want to say a few things about Matteo from the point of view of before I get into his qualities that I've talked about a bit. I'll talk about him as a bit of an explorer, both sort of physically and spiritually. I first met Matteo, must be last August, around that time. I was trying to think the other day when we were chatting. It was at level 1, and we all came in there. It was about 33 people. It was round. I sat there, and Matteo was over there, and spoke to him yet. And but something interesting was I was looking around and watching people and things, and I saw him take up a posture. I thought, we know something. You know, the way he sat, it was just it was interesting. He was very quiet and sort of unassuming, but so knowledgeable. And I'll just leave that there for a moment. I just want to take you on a little journey where he's come from. I got some of the facts right. So correct facts. Matteo's from London in northern Italy, and I think it was there around 20 when you become open to the Buddha Dharma initially, at first instance. A small monastery in that sort of region, Tibetan, that later went on to have the Dalai Lama stay there when he was in Italy. He lived there for some time. So that is your first sort of look into the Dharma itself. And whilst in Italy, you were at university, Milan University, and carried out studies in Asian studies, which encompassed speaking Mandarin, Sanskrit, some Buddhism, Confucianism, Taoism, you know, all the non-heavy stuff by the sound of it, which actually puts my language skills into context, because English being my main one is not very good. And my whole region is coming on. But and if that wasn't enough, you felt you ought to fill in your spare time by becoming taking up training in percussion. So you went on to play the drums. So add that to your things. And then interestingly, joined a band and did a bit of a tour. I think, what was the band called? I've got it down here, interestingly. Yeah, I don't want to join the circus. It's not a bad name for a band. Rock band, because it's a bit hairy in it. Yeah, also whilst at university, that's where we met your sweetheart, Angela, later to be your wife, so from Glasgow. And then from there, you moved to China, and whilst in China, that's where you were teaching languages, and then that's where a colleague introduced you to a sitting group in the Chan or Zen tradition, which is quite a strict tradition and quite formal, devotional, with long sits. I know that's really 3 hours of meditation. Really interesting. But unlike us, where we had the ability just to go to the Buddha Centre and meditate openly, you had to do it in a bit of a sort of a secret squirrel way, didn't you? Because you weren't technically, it wasn't sort of, it was quite frowned upon in some areas. So you sort of met up with a group of people and you were able to go and do meditation, but you had to sort of plan it and go to different places. So it's a lot harder than we had. So and then you are very widely travelled. Just looking at my notes here. You love Moscow. You've been to Tibet, Switzerland, United States, Mexico. Volunteered working in Mali for 3 months, that's amazing. And also settled down in Australia and lived and worked there for a period of time. And it's a huge amount of experience, life experience, and that's sort of led you to a strong shamatha practice and very much more widely read in Buddhist scriptures. And then you've got a special interest as well in early teaching in southern schools. And this brings me on to some of your qualities. With all that in mind, things that you've done, you're certainly a quiet guy, certainly not shy, but what I've found is the humble nature, the humility that you have. And with all that experience, and then I've been talking to you and other people have been talking to you, always there to listen to other people, always interested in what's going on around you. Never interjecting all the things that you've done, and some people could quite clearly do that, but you've sort of kept that behind it, and it's really lovely. And I've learned a lot already from talking to you. And I know one of the things I find is your communication, your truthful communication, the way you answer a question. You know, it's done, a real modest way, but succinctly and quite correctly. And I know there's an occasion, I think, where sadly we're doing a course, a training, and I think it was during that training, it's a point where that was, I think someone felt that you were right. Being used to sit for 3 hours of meditation anyway, but it was the way you were able to communicate it. When you do communicate things in our Mitra studies, that's a great answer when you ask the question, because and it's done in a way that it's always instructive, it's never, derogatory, and it's entertaining. I really enjoy our thoughts. I think one of the other things that strikes me about you as well is your groundedness and calmness. And I remember back in March when all this kicked off with lockdown, and you were saying about your parents being under the peak initially of all the COVID and things like that. And I felt quite empathetic for what you were going through, but you were very grounded in that. It was like, it is what it is, they're going to be fine. I'm over here, I can't do anything, they're doing what they should be able to do. And it was the way you talk about things in such a calm manner, I left feeling better. I don't know about the rest of them, but I felt, really good. I'm really looking forward to the journey and spending more time getting to know you. And I know there's lots of other qualities that are going to come to the surface. I'm excited about you becoming a Mitra, and I'm excited about everyone becoming Mitras and sharing their journey. And I look forward to catching up for coffee without an app next time. So I think we can do that. But yeah, thank you.
I want to introduce you to Joyce. Yeah, I went to introduce to 3 women in one, and I only know 3, there may be many others in there. But the 3 women, I went to introduce to an academic. He's really lectures at Glasgow University in community development, and also is studying for a PhD, isn't it? It's a PhD, and in women and their children, children of women drug users. And, you know, there's a real heartfelt, not only that there's a rigorous academic and serious-minded teacher, but there's also a big heartfelt connection with the women, with everybody involved in that sad situation. There's no judgment, there's no side angle, there's just heartfelt love for both the mothers and the children and the awful situation and the predicaments that they end up in and the situation which escalates that. And we really should have met long before we ever did, because our lives have, you know, in the addiction field have moved back from, I can't remember when we did meet. But, you know, our paths cross in different settings in China and elsewhere. But there's this other woman, this other woman, where we all should have met here as well, but we didn't. Where she was a drummer, she's a drummer with this indication, other part. She's a faithful member of that for a number of years.